Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you could pick up your telephone and give us a call. You see, we never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. We speak about it. But we give you the opportunity to determine what we speak about. Sometimes people meet you and they say, you only on one topic alone. And I say to them, pick up the telephone and introduce the topic you want to speak about. Today we have war going on practically on two fronts in the world. Israel continues to pound Gaza with airstrike and artillery. Israel declared war on Hamas following a shock land, air, and sea assault by the Palestine militia, where over 1,000 Israelis were killed. Well, I guess everybody expects Israel to retaliate. And in that retaliation, they are pounding Gaza. Gaza is one of the most densely populated places in the world. And Hamas seems to be well integrated among civilians. So you will find a lot of civilians dying. The Israelis claim that God is on their side, and the Muslims, the Palestinians, claim that Allah is on their side. But it doesn't seem Allah and God talking down there at all, because both sides seems hell-bent on killing one another. And perhaps the countries in the world take sides too, rather than encouraging them to make compromise, to negotiate. There are some countries like Iran, and I believe Syria, and the groups Hamas and Hezbollah that does not recognize Israel's right to exist. As far as they're concerned, the Jews must go in the bottom of the sea. So it's very difficult to negotiate with them. Over the years, Israel had made peace with Egypt and Wasedat and Jordan and some other countries in the Middle East. But these other countries do not recognize their right to exist. So I guess this struggle is going to go on. And every now and then we're going to look at it as if it's a movie. Are we going to express our opinion based upon our inclinations? We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and RealFM 91.9. And the telephone number to call is 442-0175. I was engaged in a discussion with some young men a couple of days ago and even yesterday. And they felt I was unjustifiably attacking the government. I always ask people, what is it that I'm saying that is not the truth? And obviously you will have a lot of people in the country who likes what the NDC is doing. They support what the NDC is doing. What the National Democratic Congress doing is in keeping with what they stand for. The NDC is expected to make mistakes because they are a new group of people, new group to politics. So some of the traditional mistakes that were made in Grenada, you could well find them making it again. So I'm not too preoccupied with the mistakes they make. And you may not hear me speaking about some positive things you think they do, because obviously they have done positive things. People support them. One, they have created an amnesty for everybody who pays tax. So if you owe government tax, you get a nice tax break. There are a number of people who is benefiting significantly from the NDC policy. They have had about $7 or $8 since they come into power. So it means a number of Grenadians have the opportunity to travel. Even some spouse is able to ride on the partner back on flights to Brazil or South Korea or wherever they're going, because they have some freedom to travel. The government has just made a move that is significant and very beneficial to people in the middle income group. The low income houses provided by the Chinese, the government has decided that based upon the economic situation, they can't give people in the low income group. So they prefer to give it to people in the middle income group. That's their policy. They believe that these people are going to struggle to pay for it. The Ministry of Housing has become an agent for the financial institution. And in keeping with the NDC policy, they are abandoning or neglecting people in the lower income group. And if you are one of the nurses or public officers, a policeman who get the house, you must agree with NDC. You must support NDC. If you are one of the people in the lower income group, like a caregiver, a imam, a supermarket worker, a gas station worker, a worker who is owning under $3,000, then that policy is not in your interest. And I say, people always have to be careful what they support, who they support. It is important to strip political parties and find out what they stand for. It may well be that the political party that you are supporting is not in your interest. Black Wizard says, inside NDC, you have NNP. I find it sometimes difficult to understand why people who catching the nenen in the low income group owning $3,000 or less, or maybe they don't have a fixed job. Their income is from pankwai. Their income is from temporary jobs. Why somebody like that feel comfortable to support the National Democratic Congress? Because in my study of the Congress, there is a clear line of demarcation in the policy. They tend to be more hostile to people in the lower income group. You could go back and do some background. When I speak, I like to create justification, reasons. I like to advance reasons for my opinion and my position. And I say, if I get new information, I change my position. But looking back at the National Democratic Congress for eons, for years now, they always seems not to be too sensitive to people in the lower income group. Yes, caller, welcome.
How are you doing, sir?
Great.
Welcome. How is your day so far?
Good, man.
Listen now, let's not get to the problem of this NDC. You know what is the NDC problem? The problem is they're too communist oriented. They have too much communist in the system. They must understand this one thing. Politics is about people. Once you get into politics, your main goal is to look after the people, whether it's in education or health or agriculture or fisheries or wherever. Your business is to take care of the people. Politics is all about people, and that's what these guys don't understand. Because they have so much of communist in their brains. They have to get rid of this communist thing and let's talk about democracy. Find out what is the meaning of democracy. They don't know. And that's the problem. You know, you hear these guys talking so much that stupidness all over the place, and you wonder if those guys are educated. And I knew when the election, they say, oh, the prime minister is the brightest man. He jump in finance, he jump out, he say he didn't have much experience. Now, the thing about it is, you have to know what you're doing before you get in there. So when you get in there, don't just go and give away money and go all over the place and just spite people. Sit down, get your team together, and find out where the problem lies and how you could deal with it. And that's how you should start your governance. But no, they won't do it so. As though they think, well, they get away with what they're doing there. But NDC is always self-destruct. And what they're doing is just destroying themselves. And it's only a matter of time for something to happen that somebody will cry foul on this administration. It's a sad reality because, I mean, they made the country in a good situation with a lot of money in the treasury. They should start the ball rolling positively, and they just mess up the whole thing. And now, I don't think water could wash them. Have a nice day, sir.
Yes, scholar, but I don't think NDC have one dram of communism in them. Communism and socialism, they always put a lot of emphasis on the proletariat. The NDC doesn't seem to be interested in the proletariat. They don't seem to be interested in low-income group. The NDC more look like this present NDC more resemble the old GNP. They don't have the kind of wealth that the GNP had. But they believe they have the education, and they believe they're in a different class, social class. So even when you're speaking to them, the language they use is very dismissive and insulting to people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. I just want to share with your listeners some information. It's concerning the houses, right? We know that I don't know if you got this information before. If you did, then too much information is not too much. The government is offering the one-bedroom apartment for $55,000 and the two-bedroom for $73,000. And I have been questioning the amount. They have subsequently officially given what they claim to be the market value of those units. So the market value of the one bedroom is $141,251, and the two bedrooms $204,734. Now, I'm not a builder, but I know if the average Canadian has $141,251, he can build a house. I'm not talking about an apartment. I'm talking about a house. So if the market value is $141,251, and they have discounted it and selling it for $55,000, I'm saying that the person who's buying it at $55,000 or $55,000, they're paying too much for the house. Because I do not see how a one-bedroom apartment with shared walls, shared floors, shared ceilings can cost, or can be valued, not cost, valued at $141,251,000. I don't see how it's possible. So something is not adding up from my end. Maybe somebody who is into construction can call and speak to that. Because if that's what they value the property at, 141, and they're giving us 55% discount, bringing it to $55,000, then something is not right. Give the average Canadian $141,000, and he'll build you a one-bedroom house, and he may just be able to buy a 3,000 square foot area land to put it on. So, Mr. Pierre, I don't know. It is not sitting right in my head. Something is not correct. If you inflate the market value just to justify your $55,000, then you're robbing the people. $204,000, 734, can build you a two-bedroom house with a roof, rafters, flooring, and you can get a piece of land to put your house down. So are the people who've been offered this unit been taken advantage of? I'm not talking about I don't want to go into whether or not they should sell it. I'm just looking at the value that they're putting on those things. Somebody is increasing or marking up this thing to a stage where they could justify the sale of the 73,000 for the two and 55,000 for the one. And Grenadians should really start asking questions. What are the people planning to do? Where are the houses targeted to go? A little bird said to me that there are people, Grenadians who are not living here, who have already applied for and gotten confirmation that the houses will be sold to them because Grenadians would not be able to afford it. So we need to be on a P's and Q's and ask questions. So they're having meetings at different locations. Those Grenadians who are interested in the houses should go and ask the question. Is the valuation that you're giving me correct? Or are you overpricing the house just justified? This is my contribution to this.
Yes, scholar, and by the mere fact that the government changed their policy, there's a lot of people who were interested in the house that now know they cannot access the house is no longer for them. So that these houses are more for middle income people, public officers, police, teachers, etc., but not for people in the lower income group. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Ask me several questions. The NDC politicians, when they get into politics, who really they come to serve? Who really they come to serve? Are they come to serve the Ghanaian people, or a group of Ghanaian people who or they come to serve everyone? Mr. Pierre, when you look at what is going on in the country, some of the politicians that get into government, that win the seat, Mr. Pierre, they was better off than the people know that was working, and they send them home, right? That work and they send them home. So they become worse than what they were before the election, because they send them home, and they have no income to come in their hand. So then what they get in the past, the little money they get in from the seed money, they took out from $150 from it, and their life now is more miserable than it was before the last election. But them that came in, the ministers that win the seat, and even those who don't win, the pocket, every day pocket filling with money, they're getting richer and richer every day, and the poor class of people are getting poorer and poorer. So the question, who did this NDC candidate come in politics? Who they come to serve? Are they come to serve themselves and the friends and the friends' family? It is clear to see. Even this government, the intention was only to think about themselves. And I remember that Kemcha was saying in the campaign, when a man naked and he get opportunity, do you think he will help you and live with himself? He go help himself. And now he help himself, and where he should be comfortable. But then he don't satisfy. He still want more. He still want more for he and the friend. And the people that the poor class people who vote for them because of the promises, they turn their back on them. They were looking back to see this condition of these people. Although they know the condition, but all what they tell themselves is me, myself, and I, and my friend. And my friend. So come close to the election again, close to the election, but a year before the next election, you will see they will go and do something for it and say, well, see, I tell them we do that and we do it. So they will try to give people impression that what they said, they fulfill it. So then after you fulfill what you promised them, and the grass get dried, and the grass take about 8-9 years again to grow, you come and get something. Where the people with the focus of people who supported the KJ well, the KJ tape under you for the 4.5 years, but now you come and get something in the hand to try to bribe them. And this government is a government that continue to bribe people, and mislead people and lie to the Ghanaian people. We promise them to go pay them, get permanent. We promise them nobody will be going home. We promise them they'll get the 650. Right? Mr. Pierre, what you are saying again, Mr. Pierre, cost of living going up every day. Things getting higher and higher every day. When you shop, today, tomorrow, people go, the price is different. So, and every day the government traveling, and they just stay in the country to seek and seek and see how they could solve the problem in helping the poor Kasai people. Otherwise, they try to travel and make money and to help them fat in the pocket. Well, the poor man pocket, like right now, the poor man like we make it pass with a pocket because they are not put in the pocket. So, Pierre, have a pleasure.
Yes, caller. And caller, I go back to the same thing is the policy of the political party. A number of people supported the NDC, but the NDC policy never seeks their interests. When the NDC came in power in 1990, the first group of people they attacked was estate workers. The people in the government propagator, in the agriculture station, they said they had high economic situation, so they attacked them. When the NDC had the structural adjustment program, they cut social programs. The union begged them. They balanced the book by cutting social programs. So the book was balanced. But the country was not doing well. And low-income people was worse off. Now go back to the NDC in 2008, 2013. The first thing they do was to go after people in the seed program. Although they promised them $450. They did not give them, but they removed a significant number of them from the program. You remember what they did to the Imanis? They closed down the program. They cut social program. They sold government property. When the economy was not doing well, they start selling property to meet current expenditure. This time, the NDC decided to sit down in the lab and make lies to attract the people in the lower income group. So they apologized to the Imani. They said the last time when we tricked you, we made a political mistake. This time we're going to make you permanent. The workers on contract, they say they're going to make them permanent. They say there is no need for a parallel public service. And they put people's mind at ease that they're going to get $650. As soon as they come in power, they fire the women from Carriacou. The women in pause. Over 3,000 people lost their job, including the 30 people, but 4 from Granby Estate. I'm still waiting for the Minister of Agriculture to give an explanation, an agricultural justification for firing these 30 people, because he visited them and compliment them and applaud them on their work and promise them that that estate is targeted for weed. And then he fired 30 workers. You still have difficulties as we approach World Food Day. Why the government refused to meet the source of growers? And what the government is doing is tantamount to sabotage of the source of industry. Remember, the government housing. The government decided this housing, we can't give it to the low income. We have to give it to people who could go to the bank and get it. We ain't bothering with rent to own. So the people in the lower, in supermarket workers who work with government under $1,000, $2,000. Government say, no, we can't give you e-monies, caregivers, the temporary road workers. The government say, no, we can't give you that money. We can't give you a house. This is not the NDC main grouping. And this is what we're not getting right in Grenada. And this is what some of our brothers in the diaspora not getting right. Some of them, when they travel, some of them do very well. They come back here and they say, are you the same way still? And they want to chastise you for you not doing well as they did. They're not telling you that 11% of Americans live in poverty and have to depend on food stamp, and they don't have medical insurance, and they just line up long line to get free medical care. They're not telling you you have Grenadians in America poorhouse and on the street. They're not telling you that. They're in gala. They're in gala. So the government's spending an exorbitant amount of money to attend gala. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Listen, man. I wonder if these people in the Ministry of Housing that giving value per house, if the Chinese come and give them a value now, how would they feel? Because they're giving the value to sell. Chinese give them as a gift. So I want to know if they're thinking about that.
You remember that it asked the Chinese to take back 1,000 houses?
Of course, I remember that.
NDC have these blights with houses. And they never build houses. The only government that never build houses.
Yeah, well, so they're looking for money now to build 500.
It's a money they want.
Yes. But the thing is, when they're going in bar in the Middle East, all where they go in, them guys and them, they have oil well. So they could do what they want. They're rich. So that is the kind of life they want to live. Live like them fellas in the Middle East. But tell them they would have to present, before they leave office, what they have to the integrity.
Well, they change the board. They have a board that suits them. It's a whole NDC clique there.
No, we could get rid of that, man.
So,
we could get rid of that.
My friend, yes, we could. But the problem is the damage that will be done. By the time they finish selling electricity company, I think the only thing NDC may not sell this time is Nawasa. Maybe Nawasa might go next time when they come back. But I don't believe there will be not much left for sale in this country.
All people have to do, forget about Nawasa, if they sell it, and do water harvesting.
Well,
water harvesting, do your own thing.
You know, the interesting thing is there's always people in the country who have the money, who have the capability, the resource to do it. The people who are affected most is the people NDC don't like.
Exactly.
That is those that are called greedy and needy, nasty people, classless. These are the people that take the house from you.
Yes. And eating pig skin and
these are the people that take the house from.
Well, I would advise these people, Grenada full of bamboo, balijay, and wakanu. Bill Shack, all about Bill Shack.
Yeah, well, we could
Look
always,
about Bill Shack.
well, people could always do that, but the government go to the United Nations and sign an agreement to help their own people. The government have a financial obligation to provide and help people in the lower income group. But people have to understand the NDC is not a party for people in the lower income group. And I think that is the biggest challenge we have in Grenada.
Of course.
People want to live above their means, they want to show off, so they support NDC.
Yes.
But NDC does not seek the interest. I don't know when they ever do it. Looking back at NDC, I cannot remember one program, not one program NDC have that targets people in the lower income group. In fact, they're laughing at them.
Of course.
They say they're poor. They say NMP make them poor. United States have over 30 million people living in poverty.
Of course not.
Utter poverty.
Vagrants.
Vagrants. Begging for health care. Sleeping on the street. Yes, Colin.
Now they mix up. All right.
And that's the challenge we have. And I constantly say to people, the challenge is the policy of NDC. Nothing is wrong with NDC. You just have some people that supporting NDC. The NDC don't care about you. You just have numerical value. That is why they have to tell you these blatant, insulting lies. And I take issue with them because I believe they purposely deceive people. They lie to the elderly. You tell them you'll give them $650. You lie to them. You tell them by the stroke of a pen. You quote the World Bank. You lie to them. You say there is no need for a parallel public service. Everybody will be made permanent. You lie to them. You told them when they get permanent, they're going to be able to go to the bank and take a loan. You lie for them. Now the houses that some of these people in the lower income likely to get, you take it from them. You promise to build 500 Grenadian-style houses per annum. Well, let's say you give 4 years. 500. They're over 2,000. The information is sketchy, whether you said per parish. So I ain't bothering per parish again. 500 per annum. That is 2,000 houses. But yet, you took back 42 houses from the people from Carriacou. 42 houses, you take it back from the people of Carriacou. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome. Good.
I just thinking outside of the box here. We all know that the people from the diaspora are getting them houses already. But as you just said a while ago, if the houses are valued at 100 and how much thousand and the 2-bedroom is 200 and 100,000, and they are telling you when you buy this house or these condominiums, you own it. Can I then sell it at 190 or whatever thousand I want to sell it at? Can I do that?
Yeah, once you buy it, you could be able to sell it. If you pay for it, it's yours.
And I can sell it for more than what
Yeah, it's yours.
I could pay.
Well, you could
Exactly. So that's the plot.
after that you could lease it.
That's the plot.
You could lease it for
That's the plot.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you finish, you could lease. You could lease it now for the Pope. The NDC always like that, and this is the difficulties you have engaging discussion with some of my NDC brothers. When you're speaking to them about housing, they go back to Fall Farm. You tell them about the seed program, they go back to oil. You cannot get the average NDC supporter to hold a discussion on this issue. They want to distract the conversation Yes, caller, welcome.
Morning, afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
And afternoon to Grenada.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, the Minister of Housing was on GBN to the point this morning. I would like the people to go back and listen to what he had to say. He was not prepared. He come unprepared.
He was lying. I listened to him. He was cornered.
Nervous,
and he was lying.
and he was lying. As a man of God, Minister Telesford, please.
Well,
Please,
all
Mr.
of us are men
Please.
of God. And remember, the Bible
Please.
said the devil could cite scripture for its purpose.
He said the poor will always remain with us. And God will not give in to the poor, you'll lend into him. So please.
The person was interviewing him. Well, eventually they go ask them question.
Even Mr. Cardo and all.
He was lying.
Based on how the minister was speaking, Mr. Pierre, realized the minister was lying by himself.
Yeah.
He cornered him. Listen to me, the people in the diaspora who are even living here, they don't tell nothing for people in Grenada. Some of them living hand to mouth, some of them living in basements, some of them living, they living in projects. They are the bullies and under the lies. Even in you want to watch article news, they only bullying people. Some of them can even come back in Grenada. It's a shame. By the people,
I managed to listen to the program this morning, a good aspect of it. And I see St. Jude try to even help him present it he was lying.
Some of them tell us how they don't know us. We live in here, we in the fire, we still in the heat. Business people are complaining, they are crying. Nothing is happening in Grenada.
Most business people will tell you there is a 10-12% drop in business. And that is those well-established one. Yeah.
2008, same thing happened on INC, and this 2020, same thing happening in them. They don't change. There is no change in NDC. They are who they are.
But the
they are
people
heartless and heartless.
Yeah.
Only hardship they come to give Grenada. And I don't blame them, because we put them there. They call us poor and vulnerable, but we are poor and valuable because they need us when it comes for next election. We are valuable to them come next election. We are valuable. We are not valuable. We are valuable. Yeah. And they go need our hands up and vote them again next election. Come, Grenada waiting for the poll. Have a good day.
Yes, scholar. You see, I said the National Democratic Congress. This group of individual is the worst group I have come across. They lack scruple, and I see them as vultures. Anytime you have a government that have a history of hostility, insensitivity against people of the lower income, you have to be careful with this group of people. And we must call them out. This is not white people, It's not Europeans or Chinese or Russians or Americans, This comes from the bowels of our country. That's our own children are there. You have a low-income housing program. And you put a policy in place now that the people from the lower income group, they cannot face the bank. The bank would not give them money. They cannot face the credit union. And the government abandoned rent to own. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, listening to the Minister of Housing, right? He made a statement concerning the houses, basically the assets. Well, I personally think he made it as, he was lying, first of all, but I think he made it in the whole thing of spreading a kind of propaganda. He said, all right, I don't want to quote him, right? But he said that something like that it is the first time, right, that any government has transferred millions of dollars in assets, meaning the houses, to its people, right? Immediately, and I use the word immediately because that's what he said, immediately. No. He is trying to basically put wool over Grenadians here. He is not putting that wealth into the Grenadians' hands who eventually will buy the house. He's putting these assets into the bank and the cooperatives, and so they are the ones that will be holding on to these property until after 20, 30 years, people, right, would pay for it and everything, and then it will own. In the meantime, they can use that 30 or 40 million dollars worth of assets to do their business. So he's not transferring wealth to the Grenadian people immediately. And he knows that, but he deliberately lied to the people. I mean, I don't understand why they keep doing that, and they figure people will not see through them. I mean, it's not nice. They need to do better than that, because every time an issue come up with persons who cannot afford like them, it is a big problem. It has to be an issue. Why?
But that's the NDC policy.
I
Every time they go for the same thing. If you notice, Carla, if you go back and study NDC always fire the moderates among them.
Yes.
Go back way back when. And they either fire them or they dilute their significance. And those who don't account,
what, Mr. Pierre,
it's a bad group of people here.
I was a victim to those guys in 2008, you know.
Well, you forget.
As a party member, you know.
When moderates tell them not to do that, that are good. They getting vexed with them, they fine with them.
Exactly.
I know they have the Prince I hate and the motivational speaker guiding them.
Guiding their thoughts.
They don't want no moderates.
No, they don't.
Those moderates with them, they will say, boy, let me see if I get a blind. Let me get a thing and hush me mouth.
But it is disturbing, especially what they are doing to the persons who those houses were catered for. Anyhow, Mr. Pierre, have a good evening.
Yeah, that is the worst group I've ever come across. And that's why I say they are vultures. Because if at that stage, you take in from the elderly people, you take $150 from the elderly, the physically challenged, you take money from disadvantaged children. You raise the price of water. You put tax on the price of sugar. The housing program that was targeting low-income people who were not able to go to the bank. You take it away from them. Somebody, a policeman, a teacher, might be able to access a loan from the bank. Whereas a supermarket worker, a gas station worker, a caregiver, a imam, somebody involved in money, somebody working on Granby Estate, you fire 30 of them. The temporary workers that involve in the bushing program, the workers involved in social program, you deny them the opportunity of a house. It's not to say, well, somebody houses I will share it. I will take 10, 15% for these people. You deny them that opportunity. And you reserve it for your members, your NDC members, and some of you people in the diaspora. And every time NDC come in power, it's the same issues we're speaking about. Some people ask, well, why are you on that subject matter? Well, how could you support a government to remove money from the elderly when the same government promised to give them $450 15 years ago? And the government promised to give them $650 over a year ago. How do you support that government? Removing $150 from the $450 and still removing some of them from the program. How do you support a government removing $75 to $100 from disadvantaged children? How do you support a government like that? How do you support a government that flying as if they're a hostess and pilot But they bring in a spouse. Well, this one I never hear that in my band days. All my band days, I never hear that. And the Ngala. And those in the diaspora get an opportunity to take out some pictures. They're well dressed in the diaspora. And they show little and no concern for the people in the seed program, the people who are losing their job in Grenada without due process. How do you support a government like that? You see, what is going to happen? We're going to cause social issues to rise. Pretty larceny going to rise. You're going to have increase in crime. I have always chastised the government of Jamaica and Trinidad for some of the problems they have in crime. They have not done justice to the people. Grenada low crime rate is because of the emphasis placed on people in the lower income group by Eric Matthew Gary and Kit Mitchell. The NNP party, they place a lot of emphasis in raising the quality of life for the people in the lower income group. How did they do that? They employed over 3,000 persons one time in the Imani program. Why that is good and necessary and noble and justified? Yes, it's a training program, but it's also a labor holding program. You do not have jobs on the labor market. So you develop a program that provides training, a second chance, but it gives people an opportunity to get some income while they wait on the job market. 3,000 of them. And when the government find that the majority of them was women, they had program targeting the males. 10,000 toilets. We went to the United Nations and agreed pipe-borne water for all. And the government take the initiative. And some of you have to visit the elderly to understand how important that program is. You have a sick person in a room, sometimes 2 rooms in the house, 8 or 9 people living in it, and you don't have inside washroom facility. You raise the dignity of our people. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Well, afternoon, sir. How
yes,
are you?
Great, man. Good, man.
Well, you see, we Grenadians people, they have right, the earth and the sea have right to call us greedy and needy because you see, they notice some of us don't use in our brain what God give us. The senses God give us, we don't use in it. We always allowing them to come in and fool some of us. But as I always say, they cannot fool me because I know them from day one. Because when they came to me this last time and I told them as it is, as I have a bad experience with all you, not first time, not second time, so I would not vote for all you. Come what may, I wouldn't vote for all you. Because even from, well, these are them easy was. When Mr. Brizan time, it was a little...
That's the worst group.
It was a little so-so with Mr. Brizan.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Them is in that time, they start selling out Grenada for nothing. They just start selling out, they give away which bank for nothing, the same electricity company, and they start from there. Right. It was a little better. Come in 2008, Lord have mercy. They set again, start with a kind of... So I have experience over and over with these people, but some of us, as we call some of the elderly, Don't because some of the elderly they might fool them and they go and vote for
650.
them. Yeah. And the young people again, they don't know. In 2008, how these people and them treat the young people and them and the elderly people. I tell you, I was in the office in it was raining from 2008 2013. It have an aged lady came there. That time I was collecting money for other aged people. When the lady asked for one, she said, well, she come for her money. Her name is so. They turn over. They say, well, we don't see your name there now. The woman was a fair-skinned woman with pretty white hair. And she just put her hand on her. She said, oh, God. Oh, God. And the lady start crying. So I could tell you the tears is, and the tears, you see, they say, costs go from generation to generation. This is what's going on with the people. When they come saying they are young NDC and new NDC, I say whether young, whether new, whether what, no, are you not going to get my vote? And I mean it to the bottom of my heart. And look what this and them, they are the worst in all what went through. Yeah. And up to now, I ask the question over and over, do Grenada have a prime minister? I don't know. Because you would tell me the people you lie give and try to put you there, you forsake them. You forsake in your country. You don't spend in as good as a month in your country. Sometimes not even 2 good weeks. You're not living in your country. Is other places you live in. Other places you don't care about the people. And the people and them can see that.
Yes, scholar.
People, you take heed of what's going on. Don't make them come back and pull all you again. Am I dead and gone? Yeah. But don't make them come back and pull all you again.
Yes,
have a good day, Mr.
Yes, thank you. After the next 10 years again, they will come back and fool them again. The NDC like to plan lies. That party have a history of telling lies. And I see this group as the worst group in Grenada. And I see them like vultures. You don't have a group of politicians that prey on the elderly, that prey on disadvantaged children, the physically challenged. Caller, you got to punch.
Mr. Pierre, afternoon.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm a first-time caller.
Good to have you.
First thing, most of the thing I just hear you saying, I don't agree with it, all right? I heard you make a statement on the 31st of July of this year. This Monday, I hear you make that same statement, that our ancestors sold the people into slavery. You make me sick to my stomach, Mr. Pierre. Really. And you don't know the history, I'm going to get back to you. I realize you got to go, but tomorrow I'm going to call you.
Yes, caller, call me Oli. Call me Oli.
I'll try to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Have a good day.
I've always said that I'm not an individual that care about reparation. If we get money, we get money. If money fall like manna from the sky, we get money. But I don't care about reparation. Because the black man sold his people in slavery. And I take the strongest objection to that. And just as today I take the strongest objection to the 9 members of the National Democratic Congress. I see them as vultures. You don't choose a government and the government decide to prey on the elderly, the physically challenged, disadvantaged children, raise the price of water, raise the price of sugar, and the houses that was targeting for low income. The government removed the low income people from able to access the houses. That government is a vulture. While they do that, they raise their own pay. They're taking loan from the coffers of the government. And they're traveling as if it's a joke, as if the parents wealthy and rich. They're traveling with a spouse on occasion. Several members of the government is selling passport. If that is not corruption, then tell me what it is. I see them as vultures. It's not Europeans that here, it's not Americans, it's not Chinese, it's our own Grenadian sons and daughters. A lot of them parents and grandparents found Google and sucked salt to give them an education. That is what Eric Gary fought for. And that is what the NNP in their program stood up for. That is why they employed 3,000 Imani one time. And Project Fly and what other project. And that is why they established 10,000 toilets to raise the bar of our people on the ground. That is the reason they do it. And the NDC government comes in now and they're turning back the hand of the clock. I've spoken to some caregivers and some of them on the point of tears. Some of them are losing their job because the NDC believe they didn't support them. So they fired. And I believe this is wrong. And I think more people must challenge me. Challenge me if what I'm saying is not true, point it out. Because I believe we must speak the truth. And we must, and if I find new information, if I take a position and I have new information, I'll change the position. So we're glad to come to the end of the program today. We're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch. I encourage callers. I encourage my callers to make your most important point first. Don't waste time with preamble. You punch. If you have a topic and you want to discuss it, bring it to the floor. And it doesn't have to be politics. It doesn't have to be history. It doesn't have to be culture. Any topic, bring it in the floor. You have the forum to make a difference. Thank you very much.